Alright, for number 2, it's similar to what we did for number 1. Once again, we're constructing a tree diagram to list all the possibilities. In this case, for rolling 2 dice. And we're going to assume here, anytime it's talking about dice, that we're talking about a normal 6-sided dice, unless it's talking about something else and it gives you that in the directions. And then it says, how many ways are there to get exactly 1 3? So first of all, we want to start off by drawing our tree diagram. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And anytime you're doing a tree diagram, it could go off to the side, kind of like I did for number 1, or it could go up and down. This one I'm going up and down to help save some room here, since we have lots of values. So remember, the first set of your branches is just going through and listing out your first case. So here we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for the first die, what they got whenever they rolled it. And then we're going to have the same sort of thing for the second roll of the die. So off of each of these numbers, we're then going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 once again. And then just for the sake of time for the video here, I'm not going to list all of them out. Should get an idea from the first few what this should look like. So off of the 1, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off of the 2, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then same thing for each of these. What you would have for the tree diagram. And make sure to keep in mind here, the question was, how many ways are there to get exactly 1 3? So if you look, for instance, at the first one, there is 1 3 here if we look at rolling a 1 and then a 3. So listing out that way, it would be a 1 and then a 3. Sometimes they'll list it as 1 3 this way, or you might see it as 1 3 depending on the problem. And then if we look at the next one, if we roll a 2 and then a 3, that would be another way of getting just 1 3. And then whenever you roll a 3 to begin with, the only way to get exactly 1 3 in this case is for the second roll of the die to be anything other than a 3. Otherwise, you would have 2 3s instead of exactly 1 3. So here in this case, for this second one, if we roll a 3 to begin with, then the ones that would be included for having only 1 3 would be all of these that I'm highlighting, everything except for the case where you had the 3 3. So you'd have 3 and then a 1. You could have 3 and then a 2. 3 and then the 4, 3 and then the 5, or 3 and then the 6 would be your possibilities there. And then for the 4, the only way to get a 3 there is to roll the 4 and then the 3. Once again, like I said, for the first half of them, I wrote them all out. For the second half, I'm not going to write all of them, just the ones that we're using for this particular problem. So this case here would be 4 and then 3. That would have exactly 1 3. Similar for the 5, if we have 5 and then a 3. Sorry, not 5 and 5. We want 5 and then the 3. And then 6 and the 3. And then what we want to do is count to see how many possibilities you would have here. Of course, on a test or something, if it asked for the tree diagram for it, you would want to make sure to list all of them out. Like I said, I'm not listing all of them here, just to help save on time for the video. But all of them should be like what I listed out for 1, 2, and 3. You'd have the same sort of thing for 4, 5, and 6. You'd have 1 through 6 listed below each of those. And then for answering the question for how many have exactly 1 3, well, we've got one possibility here, And then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember this one said 3 and then a 5. And then 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there are a total of 10 ways here in this case to get it so that we have exactly 1 3. So remember, anything that has just 1 3 is what we include in this case. So we wanted exactly 1 3. So make sure, once again, anytime you're doing a tree diagram, list out all of your possibilities and then go through and check to see whatever it's asking for. Some problems might just ask for the tree diagram. Some problems might ask for just what the possibilities are, and others will ask for both. So it just depends on the problem. I was just filling in what you'd have for the 4 here whilst I was talking. So make sure that you leave enough room, especially on your scratch sheets of paper as you're going through these problems. Some of these will take up more room than others. If you do have questions on any of this, make sure to ask like normal.